Hello everybody, SlimKirby here, and welcome back to more of the Star Fox 64 playthrough. We've played through the main game, but now that we've gotten all the medals on all the stages, we have unlocked a secondary adventure mode called the Expert Game. Now, here's the thing about the Expert Game. It's quite literally just the same story. Same story, same setup, same planets, everything like that. The game is basically just a bit harder, and there's some other small, visual changes as well. But yes, I am going to be doing an entire playthrough of the Expert mode. I'm going to get all the medals on all the planets again. I'm going to show basically what's different on all these stages. Basically, just kind of a second playthrough, but it'll be a lot shorter since there's only going to be 3 videos. And I'm going to cut out all of the kind of weird in-between stuff as well. One of the first things you'll notice about Expert Mode is that there are definitely more enemies involved. They will add some extra enemies, and the enemies themselves will be a bit more aggressive as well. They'll target you a lot sooner and faster, and it'll hurt. It'll really hurt. It'll hurt so much that a lot of, impact shots, not so much that shot right there, but if you make direct contact with an enemy or even just, a random fixture, your wing will pretty much get destroyed automatically. Not in all cases, but in most cases, your wings will get destroyed so much easier in Expert Mode, so that's one thing you really have to look out for. Look, I accidentally hit that. My wing's already gone, and I'm going to have to build up not only my wings, but I'll also have to build up my lasers again, too. So, that right there should show you that Expert Mode is no joke. You need to be ready for it. However, there is kind of a good side to this. I do kind of feel like the medals, in general, are a lot easier to get in Expert Mode. Mainly because there are more enemies. Enemies will group together a lot more, so getting combos should be a lot easier. That's really it, though. I mean, the enemies will be harder to deal with, and I think your, comrades will also be in greater danger as well. So you have to be on the lookout for that. But for the most part, just in general, killing enemies, if you use a lot of the same strats as you used in, the main game, you should be fine here. We're already at 130. Before we even get to the final section of this level, we'll get some kills here, and all we have to do is essentially get the boss, and then we got the medal. We'll just be, not as powerful for the boss, but that's just kind of what you might have to deal with sometimes when it comes to Expert Mode. Another change in Expert Mode, if you couldn't tell by Fox's portrait, is he's actually taken a page from the SlimKirby book, and he's wearing sunglasses, which I definitely approve of. If you wanna look cool, you gotta wear sunglasses. I mean, come on. But yeah, I think he does that just to kind of take off of his father a bit more, which I think is kind of neat. But yeah, that's the kind of other change that will happen in Expert Mode. It's purely visual, so there's not really much to say about that beyond that, but yeah, that's pretty much all the differences between normal mode and Expert Mode. More enemies, you lose your wings easier, enemies are more aggressive to you and your teammates, and Fox wears shades. That's really about it. There honestly probably isn't much of a reason to do this entire game again, but in a way, I feel like doing the entire game again, in addition to just being an additional challenge, is, something you'll be doing a lot when you're playing through this game. I know that when I was first playing through this game when I was younger, I did a lot of multiple playthroughs, even once I've gotten the medals for all the stages, because the game is just that fun. It's a very short game. You can get through, the whole game pretty easily. Even if you don't get medals, if you want to retry from the very beginning, it won't take you too long to get back to where you were. So, it's a game that's nicely compacted in a way where multiple playthroughs is never really asking for much. So, I, for one, personally really love that about this game. But there we go. We beat Corneria. We got the medal for Corneria. Again, the medal is 150 KOs. The medal amounts don't change. They're the same amounts as they are in normal mode, so don't have to worry about anything changing up on you because of that. But yeah, I'm just gonna play through all these planets again, this time on expert mode. I'm gonna cut out all of the, like, you know, little dialogue cutscenes and all the in-between stuff, so once it fades to black right here, we'll be right in the next level, pretty much. Well, actually, I think I do show the cutscene really quick, that, yeah, you do get the medal and everything, much like you do before. And our ultimate goal is to get all the medals again, and just in general showcase all the planets again. So let's go ahead and move on to Sector Y. I'm actually doing this in a slightly different order. I wanted to do this in a way where I actually played through the game 3 more times, but I did like kind of a unique route each time. However, I messed something up, and as a result, I ended up having to... I actually ended up having to do 4 playthroughs of this game to get all the planets and everything. It's my fault. I didn't really think everything through exactly. But yeah, Sector Y doesn't change too much between the normal mode and this mode. Yeah, really, I don't think there's really much different at all, if I'm being honest. I think there's some, like, more ships right here. Again, there's the enemies being more aggressive, which is something I kind of alluded to earlier. Because you lose your wings, I actually don't do my strat right here. I don't crash through the bottom to go to the bottom side. I actually stay up here because I don't want to lose my wings. Even though I'll likely lose my wings soon anyway, because it is expert mode. That's the one thing I really hate. Like, I can understand if, like, hitting obstacles could make you lose your wings, and I know it makes sense that you should lose your wings if, like, enemies crash into you, but, man, especially in the all-range stages, the enemies are ruthless. They'll just, like, ram into you, and it's really, really annoying. Like, I really, really hate that about expert mode. I mean, at least in normal mode, if that happens, like I said before, they don't, like, make you lose your wings, so it's not a big deal. I kind of prematurely used my bomb right there. I shouldn't have walked on. I should have fired it forward, but we should be pretty good. We're already at, like, almost 100 KOs anyway, so we should be fine. But yeah, honestly, like, getting through Sector Y with both of your wings is actually really difficult. Because, you just take, you can just easily lose your wings during the boss fight. The boss fight is really hard in expert mode. Because that extra bit of aggression actually comes into play. I feel like a lot of, like, the mech bosses in this game on expert mode, they don't really change much. Their patterns are still basically the same. But yeah, like, just basic grunt enemies ran into me right there, and I lost my wings. So I gotta go through the rest of this, unfortunately, with just my dinky little, not really a pea shooter, but my single green laser. Thankfully, they do give you a wing repair right there. I don't know if I actually mentioned that during the main part of the playthrough, but if you follow your troops, like, in a formation during that part, you actually get a 1-up, or you have a chance to get a 1-up. Kind of one of the random 1-ups you can get in this game. I think there's another one, but I don't remember where exactly or how exactly you get it. But here we are at the boss fight, and like I said, oh my god, these guys, they're just, I don't know, they're really hard to hit, first of all, because you can't really lock onto them that well. You kind of need to get a couple of shots, like, as you, you know, approach them. Like, make sure you dash away from them, and then come in from a distance, and then once you kind of have a, you know, a line of sight of where they are, then just blast them as much as you can. Another thing I notice is that they really target Falco in this fight. I don't know if it's just me and like me noticing that, or that's just like a coincidence for this playthrough, but like he's seriously like, it was either this run or another one of the runs where I went through this level, but he just would not leave Falco alone. Like, yeah, he's kind of going for Falco right here, and like he did it again on like another playthrough. So it's like, I guess Mr. Cocky Little Freaks like really hates Falco. I mean, Falco is kind of as, you know, a bit of a brash pilot anyway. Brash and cocky. I'm sure that enemies wouldn't take kindly to his mouth, I guess. So, I suppose it's kind of in character, I guess, but still. I just remember on one run, Falco was getting, like, really low on health, and I'm like, oh my god, leave Falco alone. I need him to survive to get the medal. And that's another thing, like, remember, it's not just the KOs, you also need to keep all your allies alive. Okay, so this run didn't go too bad. I did lose my wings, unfortunately, but could have been worse. But yeah, there we go. That is Sector Y. And which planet am I going to go to next? Am I going to go with the medium routes, or am I going to keep on going with the hard routes?
We're heading for Aquas. Report in.
I mean, Fox says we're going to Aquas, but
There you go.
is that where we're going in the actual video? Question mark, question mark?
I guess you're good for something.
Let's see where we fly off to. Yeah, let's get Aquas out of the way. I did not want to have this on my conscience for too long. Or, not really my conscience, but just... I didn't want knowing that I had Aquas in my future. Let's just get it done and over with. Aquas, I feel like, is the stage that probably changes, like, the least amount. I mean, I think these starfish enemies weren't here this early in the main game, but, like, I feel like you play it in pretty much the same way. It's just, again, enemies are more aggressive. And yeah, this stage is not very good. I'm honestly kind of glad they didn't add another one. Now, do I think that they should still experiment with the Blue Marine in the future for other Star Fox games? Yeah. I think they should. You know, I'm sure there are, like, you know, water planets out there. I mean, look at Mario Galaxy. There's a lot of planets in Mario Galaxy that have water that encompass the whole planet. There's probably some other planets that are like that too. So they could probably get with doing another Blue Marine level. I just think that they should definitely make it like a little more interesting. It definitely feels very clunky controlling the Blue Marine. But again, it's just, I think it's just because, you know, they had something in mind when it came to the water levels here. They didn't want you to like be able to go too fast through these levels because they wanted you to kind of get a feel for everything. But I don't know, it just kind of feels like it drags on for too long. And none of these planets are really that long either. It's just this one in particular, I think, because it's underwater and there's not really a whole lot of variation to this. It's just kind of meh. Also, when it comes to getting like the medal and getting combos and stuff, I can't stress this enough, but definitely take a break after you play this level, because your fingers will be hurting from constant pressing of the B button. Seriously, I was like trying to fire a torpedo like every few seconds. Every time I had like an opportunity to fire a torpedo, I fired a torpedo. That's like the best way to get like combos and get kills, because again, like you know, you can't really lock on with a normal shot. You just lock on with the torpedo, and that's basically how it works. Thankfully, we do get our double lasers back, which is good. We'll have that for the next level at the very least. And the next level will be Zonus. There is no alternate exit in Aquas, so no matter what, we are going to Zonus.
never hold together.
But yeah, as I've mentioned, this will not be as long as the main part of the playthrough, which was 7 videos. This should only be 3 videos. I'm going to try to get this done in 3 videos. And since we'll be going like boom, boom, boom from planet to planet, we should be able to accomplish that. Some of the videos will be like over 30 minutes for sure, but again, considering like this is basically extra video content when you really think about it, I don't think it's really that much of a huge deal. So we'll just have 3 videos for this week, and then we'll pretty much be done with this game. And honestly, it's pretty cool. I'm glad that I'm glad I played through this. Honestly, the main reason why I decided to do this when I did, and why I didn't do it sooner, honestly, is I have the original game on Nintendo 64. The problem is my cartridge doesn't save anymore. So as a result, if I wanted to play through expert mode, I would have to get all the medals in normal mode, then play through expert mode. It quite literally, the battery is, dead or something. The game still works, but, you know, it's not fun having to, you know, do everything and then do everything again if you just want a little taste of expert mode, you know? So as a result, I can't really use my N64 version anymore. I did get the game on Virtual Console for my Wii U at some point, but I don't really like hooking my Wii U up too much because it uses, you know, some of the cables that I use for my Wii, and I like to have that hooked up at all times because that's both my Wii and GameCube player. And as a result, you know, this game came out for Nintendo Switch Online, which is what I'm playing it on. But I couldn't really play this game very well with the Switch's Pro Controller. So I was waiting until I could actually get a N64 Switch controller, which have been incredibly out of stock. In fact, I couldn't actually get one until my good buddy Pixel Plume actually ordered me one through the Nintendo of Canada website, since he doesn't live in America, and was able to get me a controller through theirs, which I really appreciate. Thank you, Pixel Plume, for pretty much making this playthrough possible. And, the game controls and feels a lot better to play with an actual N64 controller. It's definitely still playable if you don't have an N64 controller, but I don't know, something just feels natural with the N64 controller. It just feels like it. I don't know if it's just my childhood coming back to my memory in terms of how to play this game, or at least play it somewhat competently. But when I tried playing the game with a different controller, it just did not feel right. So I'm glad that I was able to actually get a better controller for this. And there we go. We're done with Aquas. I'm glad that rant actually took me through the rest of that stage, because the stage is boring. Try Blue Marine levels, or the Blue Marine in a future Star Fox game, and give it just more exciting gameplay, and it should be fun. I actually don't know if they really bring the Blue Marine back at all. I haven't played Star Fox Zero. And I know there are water levels in Star Fox Command. I just don't remember if it's the Blue Marine specifically. I don't think so. But, yeah, they could do it better, I'm sure. But let's go ahead and move on to Zonus. Zonus is another stage that I feel like isn't too bad. If you want to get the medal, obviously you'll have really high KO totals you have to aim for, but I mean, they give you plenty of enemies here anyway. And all the searchlights give you basically +3 whenever you kill them anyway. Which, speaking of the searchlights, someone did actually confirm that if you do actually get caught by the searchlights, more enemies will show up. The problem with that, though, is that you won't get any more KOs for the searchlights, I'm pretty sure. Or at least you won't get, like, the combo. So, you know, you kind of have to pick your poison. I still end up not really showing it because it really doesn't change things too much. And I just wanted to do what I was familiar with. Basically, though, if you pass a searchlight without killing it, the searchlights will all turn orange. Fox will be like, oh no, we've been spotted, there'll be more enemies, and that's pretty much it. So this is still probably one of my favorite stages, which is, again, kind of weird because it looks like a junk heap, but there's just a lot of action here, a lot of cool sections, and it's also got Cat, who is also really cool too, so, you know, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with the game trying to build a little backstory and lore, giving Falco's character a little bit of charm, because, you know, you kind of wonder what's their relationship all about. And that is something I think they do actually continue like discussing in Star Fox Command, but Star Fox Command is a much different discussion anyway. Whenever I get to that game's gonna be it's gonna be a thing, that's for sure. Assuming I even get to that point, like, who knows what the future of YouTube and the SlimKirby channel is going to be like at that point, but I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule the possibility out. I just don't know at this time, so just kind of cut me some slack, I guess. Yeah, and look, Falco just destroyed my wing right there. Probably got jealous that I was praising Cat so much. My god. What a jerk. And then I lost my other wing because I'm... Ugh. Yeah, at this point I was like, oh shoot. I just felt like, I really hate this attempt right now, but it's like, I'm close to the end, I have a lot of kills, the boss isn't so hard, even though I'm still crashing into stuff for some reason. I just felt very discombobulated, I guess.
That was a close call, Fox.
Yeah, I think at this point we can even, like, finish the boss semi-fast. Like, we don't have to finish it the fastest, but even if we kill it the second fastest time, we'll still get +5 and enough to finish it off at least. And from what I remember, I think I even actually had a little more trouble on this boss, too. I think I had a little more trouble because I thought I killed the smokestack thing, or the rudder, or whatever it's called, but then, like, I didn't kill it, so it had a chance to submerge. And see, me having, like, my wings being guns kind of messing up my flying right here. See, I thought right there I killed the other rudder. Like, I thought I got rid of the rudder on the right, but I actually didn't. So that kind of messed me up. So as you can see, whenever you sink his machine, and whenever you sink like one of the sides, he'll go underwater and basically, I guess, repair it. Then you'll come back up and yeah, everything will be fixed. So you gotta destroy the little smokestacks before you do anything. And you do pretty much the same thing with the crane. The crone. See, I don't know why that bomb didn't work, and then I just fired one due to me thinking I was lined up, but then hit the water or something. I just have to kill the guy. And there we go. That is it for Zonus. And I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. I'm not going to Sector X, or Sector Z, sorry. After the last attempt at getting the medal on normal mode, and getting really annoyed by my allies destroying the missiles, I just wanted to not deal with that. So as much as I love Kat and the fact that she helps us out, I didn't want to deal with her destroying the missiles. So I decided to go a different route for this next level. And the only other option we have is actually the planet Macbeth. So we're going to do Macbeth next. We're going to, you know, for this playthrough, we're actually going to start out on the hard route. Then we're going to go to the medium route, normal route for this stage. And then we'll end up on the easy route. I think that's how we'll handle things in this playthrough. So we will be going to Bolts after this, and then I'll show off Venom 1 again, and then we'll restart, and then show off some other stages. So I think that'll be my basic plan of attack anyway. But yeah, I actually, believe it or not, I actually had some difficulty getting the medal on this one. I actually did the entire level and ended up being one enemy short of getting the what I needed. And like I tried to like look for an enemy, because sometimes you can find enemies in the like boss fight, like even before you get to the train switcher, but none of them were appearing, and I just couldn't do it. So had to redo the level, unfortunately. But yeah, it's actually kind of funny. When I was younger, like, I had a lot of trouble with this stage just because I thought getting the medal was just harder with Landmaster stages because there's less enemies to shoot. But I think when I was younger, I didn't know that you could get points for hitting the rocks. And hitting the rocks will actually help you out, so you should definitely do that. You should also try doing some charge shots. This is something I don't make use of, but it's definitely something you should do. Doing charge shots is actually really good to do because it basically acts like you're locking on. So if there's like a bunch of enemies you can't really lock on to fast enough, you can actually, you know, use the charge shots to still get the like plus combos and still get more points, and you can actually, like, you know, recharge quickly and do it again. So that's like a way to like really optimize your score to a very high degree. Like I did it right there if you couldn't tell. But that's something I'm not super skilled with when it comes to this game. But if you want to optimize your scores in this game, that's definitely something you're going to want to pay special attention to and work on. See, I'm like really nervous right here because I have no health. So I'm trying to be careful. Try not to advance too far. And yeah, if you get to this point with like 95 kills, almost 100, you should be fine. Because you can destroy like 1 or 2 sections of the train. There are some other enemies that'll show up, and that should be basically enough. So we should get the medal, no problem. Let's see, even like crashing into walls, I feel like does more damage in this mode. It seems like it did more damage there anyway. So all I have to do is just kill one enemy and then we should be good. And look, Kat's actually here. And see, unlike Sector Z, Kat actually helps and doesn't like get in your way. She actually hits some of the switches, which is nice. But yeah, Kat only appears if you played Zonus before this. And the same thing actually kind of applies with Bill as well. You can find him in either Solar or Sector X after Katina, as long as you play Katina. And Bill actually is very, very helpful in Sector X. I'm going to go ahead and say that right now. I will actually show that off, too. Because I definitely want to take the warp in Sector X so I can get Sector Z's medal that way. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty much Macbeth. And you know what? I think I'm going to actually end this video here. The next level is actually going to take us a very long time. I think it's like one of the longest levels, especially if you want to get the medals. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. But this will be part 1 of the Expert Mode playthrough of Star Fox 64. I will see you guys when we take on part 2. Where we'll be basically finishing up this playthrough, and then we'll... I think we'll stick to the easy path for the next playthrough for quite a bit.
I'm sure we heard of this time.
I also like this because even Kat says something before she leaves.
Good, Tiger. See you again.
She also called me Tiger. Wow.
Now it's our turn to kick some tail.
Okay, well, that's going to do it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys for the next Expert Mode playthrough video. This has been SlimKirby, and I will see you guys next time. Later, folks.